Special effects take more and more place in movies. Some of them are composed entirely by special effects. The story begins much earlier than we think. We are in 92 with A Trip to the Moon, an adaptation of Jules Verne's famous novel From the Earth to the Moon, which can be considered as the first movie to use special effects.
We are just 6 years after the Lumière Brothers' first projection, so after the beginning of the cinema. Georges Méliès had the idea to superimpose a movie in order to give life on the first special effects. The best known scene is certainly the landing. Compared that we can make today, it seems very simple, but must be seen in the context.
The principle of this trickery is extremely simple. One only needs to interrupt the shot and, without changing the frame, to take back by having add, take away, or change an element. There is also another newness, effects of linked molten, consisting in superimpose two shots during a period of time by diminishing the luminosity of the first while augmenting the second. We can likewise see interactive decors. It was painted on very long canvas and one on a tape. During the scene, the canvas was unrolled to give the movement illusion.
25 years later, Metropolis was born. Movies by Fritz Lang, it was the first to be inscribed on the register of the World Memory of UNESCO. It's influenced many contemporary directors.
George Lucas, Luc Besson, James Cameron, Tim Burton, Ridley Scott, but also many other artists like Pink Floyd, Muse. So many more of this film had influenced a lot of movies, indeed copying. I think especially as a movie as Blade Runner, or C-3PO in Star Wars, or Car and City of the Fifth Element. The best similarity is Batman, where the finale is squarely set from a Metropolis finale.
Dimension, Tim is obliged to invent many special effects. Like this, the new Babel Tower, supposed to make 5,000 meters of height, was realized in miniature. A new process was made, placed with mirrors. From the little pieces, a third piece of the set was constituted. Motorway, cars, have been minutely added. 100 reduced models, more than 5,500 extra, complex, superimposed for the several parts described secrets around the robots.
Now, obligatory passage in special effects universe, King Kong, realized in 1933.
The film used the stop motion and the animatronics. Stop motion is a technique allowed to create a movement from motionless things. Concept close to cartoon, it only takes, with help of a camera which is able to take only the one picture at once, to film a character or an object and move it to the next pictures. While the movie is projected to a normal speed, the scene seems to be animated. The animatronics is a technique which consists to animate a robotized creatures to give it a life appearance.
Like this, in opposite to Rumor, King Kong is never played by a disgracing actor. Indeed, it was built for the movie many life-size details, like a bust, a hand, a foot, a head. Like this, a complete representation of 18 inches size.
I'm sure you have recognized this music. We are in 1977, year announcing the arrival of the most important saga in the cinema history.
Star Wars. When we think that no studio wish to bet on the movie, thinking that nobody can see it. Even so, this movie succeeded the touch several generations. Certainly special effects are old, but can easily forgive as the movie is a masterpiece. Amazing space battle, laser, lightsaber.
Lightsaber was conceived on the intention to cause a luminous effect. This effect was directly integrated on the shoot film, but all the system created all around didn't give good results. Everything was touched up during the editing. Colors was manually designed over the original Blade's white picture. This process is more complex than in the following movie because blades were numerically added.
In 1982, a movie came out, not very well known, Dark Crystal. If the character of this movie resembles the Muppet Show character, is not a coincidence. Jim Henson, creator of this show, is one of the movie's directors. The second one is Frank Oz, who was Yoda's famous character in Star Wars.
Dark Crystal is technically a typical movie because it don't use classical technique of animation, and it appeared before even of American animation. All the characters are puppets, the only disguising human appearing 2 or 3 wide-angle shots.
In the same years came out Tron. It was the first movie to use the informatic imagery of intensive way.
Informatic has allowed included in real-world special effects, but also like to conceive a world fully virtual. Like this, the bytes race, for instance, was totally realized by computers.
Unlike Star Wars, this movie has aged very badly, but still cute.
Flip more than 10 years forward. We are in 1993 with the first movie of Jurassic Park saga.
This film shows an important step to animatronic history because, combined with synthesis picture, he allowed a more real representation of dinosaurs. This one aren't as well representation as screen. We talk about synthesis picture, but it has to have that the director has used this method only that the animation picture by picture or animatronics couldn't be used.
1999, Matrix and his famous bullet time effect.
Bullet time is a visual effect occurred thanks to a quick succession of camera which has put down all around the action. They are, at the same time, released or with a little gap. It allows to simulate an impossible camera's movement in a normal environment, because action is too speed to be really followed by cameras. The bullet time allows to an extreme idle to follow the bullet's trajectory from the gun, or to give an impression that the camera turned around the same scene, like time was stopped.
This way to film and these special effects are largely used since, for the little story, this technique has been invented before the camera invention for photography works in the 19th century.
We arrive at the last movie of our documentary, the most impressive now. We have recognized Avatar.
Real technical feat, it was postponed since 19th in the way that technology will be at a sufficient level to realize the desired universe. Innovation include a new system to light big sounds, the volume, a room dedicated to capture motion, 6 times biggest as any other room ever used, and an ameliorated method to the capture of facial actor expression. For this, actors are wearing a sort of balaclava which is fixed on a little camera, shooting in detail every movement of their face and their legs.
Movie established in 2006, and it was quickly the biggest success in cinema story, collecting more than $2.7 billion.
Special effects have a long story which is not ready to be stopped. No doubt that today's effects become surpassed by tomorrow's effect. They become completely dissociated to the cinema and play a big role in movie success. We are sure that future will propose new technology which improves special effects.